When I went to therapy, one of the most life changing things that my male therapist said to me is he overall told me that I have to change the perception of what happened to me. So my dad is in my life now and we're great, we're good, it's a beautiful thing. But throughout my whole adult life, my dad wasn't around. And when I was young, my dad, I went to Philly one time. I went to Philly like as a teenager. I was like 16, 17 or whatever, right? And I had a car. I had rims. I was a drug dealer. I had everything a young boy could want as far as being young, right? I had the car, I had the rims, I had the girls, I had the music in the trunk and all this other stuff, right? And I went to see my dad, and he didn't have no car. He didn't even live by himself. He was living with a woman. So I was talking about how, I got a car and just, different things about that. And I'm about to get my own apartment and all this other stuff, right? And by the time I came back home, when I flew back home to Atlanta, my dad never called me again. And I spent a lot of years being mad and angry and all this other stuff, right? Feel like I was unwanted. Well, my therapist told me from everything I've heard, you seem like a little asshole and you kind of like seem to be a little pretentious. You putting out that you 16 and you got a car and your dad didn't have a car. You about to get your own apartment and your dad didn't have his own apartment and he's like in his 40s. It's a possibility, because I don't know your dad, that your dad may have felt a certain amount of insecurity being around your little young ass bragging about how all these different things that and are accomplishing, and he's in his 40s and he's not able or reluctant to accomplish. So it's a possibility that you may have made him feel like, I can't teach this little nigga nothing. Like, what am I doing? Like, being around my son is making me feel like I'm less than, right? And when he said that, I was like, damn, I never thought about that. And he helped me forgive my dad for whatever reason, not saying that it wasn't wrong or wasn't right or whatever, just seeing how he may have felt, you know? So, because I remember the conversations we had, I was like, damn, I probably did make him feel, less than, because I'm a kid and I got more than a grown ass man, you know? So that's what I learned. Change the perception of what happened to you. That in itself is what I teach the women in my coaching group now. Because once you change the way you see something, you no longer fear certain things. You're no longer mad at certain things. You no longer are resentful towards certain things because you change the perception of the actual thing. So that's what I learned.
Can I just add
I
this
will
real quick?
say
Uh-huh.
one more thing, and I'm probably gonna go because I'm tired.
Are we
Kind of,
about to ready close out?
I'm sedated. So I will say this. Precious mentioned accountability. The first time I went, I wasn't talking to nobody about what I was doing for me. This time, it was very important for me to include the people that I loved, so
Girl,
they wouldn't have the perception that I'm okay. But I did go and tell them, right, I'm doing my best to get okay. I'm taking the necessary measurements. So a good friend of mine, he was like, well, call me if you want to talk. And I told him respectfully, I'm done talking to y'all because I can talk to y'all till I'm blue in the face, but you guys would never understand anything that I'm going through at this point in time. I'm going to go get my help. I don't need to talk to you. I've done enough talking to my people in my environment because I understand what your intentions are behind me, but I do need your support. And I included them. I included my mom, I included my brothers, I included my cousins, my friends, my boyfriend. Everybody knows it's no secret. So that way, again, they are very much so aware, right, that she is not okay, and I don't ever want them to feel like I am okay because of something traumatic happening to me. But I am taking the necessary steps in order to go and get the help that I need without being a burden to them. So the support is easier.
To add to
You, Paris.
go ahead, Mark. Um, go ahead, Marcus. I don't know if you ever to add what to add what Paris was saying. So I'm not quite sure where you are in your journey. But it's great that you let them know that you need their support and things of that nature. What I was actually going to say, I thought you were going to say it, but you went in a different direction. What I was going to say is that to answer Marcus's question, so therapy is for you, right? However, you are a part of other people's lives. You have an impact on other people's lives. And so the thing that I learned, which is why I'm called the real precious, is that when you're real with yourself, you can be real with other people. Okay. And there is no shame in it. You can stand in your own truth. You can be who you are without anyone else's opinion affecting you. That's what therapy and God, because for me, it wasn't just therapy, it was God too. Spirituality and knowing that knowing how my creator thinks about me and what he thinks about me, that gives me the confidence to think about me the same way, right? But it allows you to be honest with the people in your life without feeling like you're disrespecting them. So when Paris says, I need their support, great, they can be support. Whenever she gets to a point in her life where she can open up, and or anyone, I don't want to just use Paris, but you have to get to a point in your life where you can open up to other people without hurting them, because therapy gives you a way to express yourself. Therapy gives you strategies in order to communicate, but you have to get to a point where you're not people pleasing and you're living for you. And it ain't nothing like it, because at the end of the day, it's only going to be you in that box when you leave. It's only going to be you when God says, welcome. Okay. He not going to say, oh, well, what did your mama do to help you get you here? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, it's you. And so I think that when people go to therapy, they're trying to fix themselves so they can be good for other people or around other people. And it's like, no, you got to be good for you. And then once you're good for you, that's when you set your boundaries for other people, and you can tell your truth, walking your truth. And when they do something that may have tempted you or I don't know, triggered you to act a certain type of way, you can positively, confidently say, I don't have to deal with this.